Okay, somebody stole my gavel, so I call the work session to order, if that's okay. Good morning. How's everything? Y'all like this cold weather? No. Some people love it, some people hate it, but you can always dress up and get warm, I believe. Help me with elected officials. All right. Just say hey and tell everybody good morning. Who you are.
Luana Nolan, Solicitor General. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Good to have you. Good to see a big crowd this morning. As a reminder, if you will, take your cell phones and put them on silent and or on vibrate so that we won't have any interruptions. If I can get the marshal to bring me in my sheet, I would appreciate that. Thank you, buddy.
Mr. Chairman, can I welcome someone?
Absolutely, you can.
We have our state representative Joseph Gullett's wife in the house.
Oh.
Jessica Gullett, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you. It's a pleasure. I'm going to get Mr. Tommy to come up to the podium just a minute. And I remember when I first met Tommy, when I was in campaigning, we had a great prayer meeting over at his place. And he got to tell me a lot about his life and where he's at. And I'm just going to share a couple of things with you. He's been the chaplain of the Paulding County Fire Department for how many years?
Unofficially for Paulding Public Safety and Fire, about 15 years. But my brothers at the Fire and Rescue have officially appointed me as one of them, one of the staff chaplains.
And thank you for your service. U.S. Army, you're a veteran.
Yes, sir.
How many years did you serve there?
Almost 6 active and then 3 in the reserves. And both my sons are decorated combat veterans. My mother and father were career Air Force, and my grandmother sent all of my uncles to World War II before there was a Sullivan Act. So we go back a little bit in the military. We're grateful to have had the opportunity to serve.
And he was in 62 Foxtrot. So
Yeah.
what do y'all do in that?
I'm so old, and it's been 40 plus years that they got rid of 62 Foxtrot, but it was combat engineering, MOS. We got to cranes and bulldozers, and we got to build stuff and blow it up, and that was fun.
And you've been actively serving in the county for 32 years, I believe?
We've been living in the county 32. I've been employed by Paulding County Board of Commissioners for 21.
But you've been serving even when you wasn't
since we hit the ground.
Board. I think when I asked him about his wife, been married 36 years, got 2 sons, 4 grands, and I asked him what he liked to do, and he likes to fish. But the thing that impressed me the most is he likes to be spending time with his brothers in Christ at the fire department.
Yes,
He
awesome.
told me everything he does at the fire department. It's pretty impressive. So God bless you, buddy. Thanks for all you do. And
thank you.
open us up. I'll get everybody to stand, and
Okay.
we'll have a word of prayer. We pledge allegiance to the flag.
I wanted just to read you something too before we get started, and thank you once again for letting me to be here. I'm not sure who wrote this poem, but it honors our veterans in such a truth and a spirit. It says, "It is the veteran, not the preacher, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the veteran, not the reporter, who has given us the freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to assemble. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is a veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag, who serves under the flag, whose coffin is draped by the flag. And on this sacred day, we gather in gratitude to honor the brave men and women of our nation who have served in times of war and peace. And we thank our veterans for their courage and their sacrifice and their steadfast devotion to duty." Now, on a happy note, Tanya Stein, our fleet director, is at this moment with her grandfather, Noel Nelson, a Navy veteran, celebrating his 99th birthday today. And may God bless him and all of our veterans, and may they feel loved and feel gratitude from a grateful nation. Let us pray. Father God, we humbly bow before your throne of grace and mercy at this time. Father, we thank you for this day that you have given us, and may we always be thankful for every blessing that you have given to us. And today we pause to honor our veterans, those who have stood in the gap, who bore the weight of duty and gave of themselves so many others can live in freedom. We lift up those who carry wounds, seen and unseen, and ask for your healing touch. We ask you to surround them with support and love and the hope of restoration. For those that have passed from this life, we remember them with reverence and pray that their legacy would inspire generations to come. And grant us, O God, the wisdom to be peacemakers, the courage to defend what is right, and the compassion to care for those who have borne the battle. And may we never take for granted the freedoms that we enjoy, and may we always honor those who help secure them. We thank you for our first responders, our veterans, and our military, and ask that you bless them and keep them from harm. And your word tells us to pray for our leaders, so we lift them up to you, praying that you would give them the wisdom and discernment as they make decisions that affect our lives. And we praise you, knowing that the forces of evil and darkness will never overcome the light. And we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died to take care of our sin debt, past, present, and future. Amen and amen. Let us pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
As a reminder, the minutes are back there for your review from October the 28th, 2025 work session minutes, and also October the 28th of 2025, the board meeting minutes are available, so be sure to pick up a copy of that. Excuse me. At this time, we're going to have Team Paulden, and we're going to watch a video. I got the opportunity to visit and meet with Tyler the other day, and he's a character.
We're at Paulding County Water on Atlanta Highway, and Tyler Baxter was nominated for the Employee of the Month for November, and he got the Employee of the Month award. When I met Tyler, it was his passion that struck me. A guy like Tyler is present, and he's gonna time here and not press you too hard, and I think we can all be like that and put our time in and enjoy being here. Because I know that Paulding is explore, unwind, and thrive, and I feel like he has that dynamic to work with.
There's a delay, hold on.
If I could tell Tyler anything, it would be just that I appreciate you, and I love how you come in early, and you're on time, you make it a fun place to work, you're passionate, and care about you, man. Thank you so much for all that you do.
If you're already standing up, just raise your hand. Is any veterans in here? Y'all give them a round of applause. And I think we have a little presentations for our veterans now. Tell you what, we live in a free country because of these guys. I think at this time we have no invited guests to recognize. We've got 2 bid awards. Discuss action to approve the purchase of a 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe 4-wheel drive from Hardy Chevrolet through state contract pricing in the amount of $55,437. This is from the jail fund, Ms. Myers.
Miss Golden, but that's okay.
I meant Miss Golden.
That's okay.
They got it on my sheet wrong.
Sometimes it happens.
That happened.
So we are requesting, the sheriff's along with the sheriff's office, are requesting the purchase of a 2025 Chevy Tahoe for the detention center. Hardy Chevrolet has a 2025 model on the lot right now that we can take possession of if this purchase is approved. They're going to sell that to us for the state contract pricing. If we wait and we order a 2026 model, then there'll be an increase in cost. So this is providing some savings. The purchase price of the vehicle is $55,437, and this will be purchased from the jail fund. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, concerns? Thank you, Ms. Golden. Appreciate that. The second one would be discuss action to authorize the chairman to enter into an agreement with Albion General Contractors for the remodeling of the new Paulding County Animal Control Building. The total project will be $4,131,000. Funding will be coming from the general fund. This project is located in Post 4.
Yes, sir. Hey, good morning. I appreciate all the hard work leading up to this point on this project. We've had a lot of people provide some input, provide some work for the planning of this facility. It's been a long time coming. So as you had mentioned, this is an agreement with Albion General Contractors for the remodel of the animal control. It used to be the senior center. Senior center moved. So if this is approved, it's $4.1 million, a little over, for the remodel of the old senior center to the new animal control building. We did put it out for bid. Albion was the lowest bidder. I've talked to a lot of people that uses Albion. Seem like a great company, do a lot of work for Cobb County, surrounding counties, done some other work like this, and they were the most thorough in their questioning when we did have it out for bid. Seemed like a great company and will provide a great product for us. As always, we're trying to watch the tax dollars. You know, this is a county-funded project with tax dollars, so like on all of our projects, we're trying to cut costs, make sure we're providing a top product for the community. So we'll be watching this under a microscope, making sure we can provide the best product for the money. So anything we can do during the process to cut costs, we are watching it very closely. So there was 8 bids. Albion was the cheapest, and we will give them 1 year to complete it. So they could potentially start at the end of this year, 1st of January, and they'd have 1 year to complete the project. And the building is currently around 17,000 square feet. The existing animal control is right around 6,000 square feet. So they would go from 6,000 square feet to 17,000, and they are at max capacity right now. A lot of the animals are outside. Last night, extremely cold. There's not a lot they can do right now. So they do need this extra heated space to provide this to the county. So the building's 17,000, and we would add a sally port, about 1,100 square feet, some outdoor kennels, which would provide some overflow for the future because the county's going to keep growing. Animal population's going to keep growing. We need to provide this service for the county. They would have around 125 dog kennels, a quarantine area, a really nice heating and air type system to provide fresh air to each section of the building. So when they do bring in sick animals, it will not contaminate the rest of the building. We've done a lot of research, visited some other animal control facilities around the state. That is extremely important to have that type of system so the sickness, disease don't spread. Any questions?
I got a question, Jeremiah. How long have we been kicking this can down the road? How long have we been the county been working on this project?
I started working on it a little over a year ago, trying to get numbers together, meeting with architects, talking to contractors, so it's been a long time coming. I've been here about 2.5 years, so it's been around a year that we've been talking about this project, trying to get it going.
How many in the room has actually visited the old animal control? You've seen the circumstances down there, it's crazy.
Yes, sir.
Good. Any other questions, comments?
I just want to thank you, Jeremiah, and your team. I was involved in this in the beginning, and you guys have gone above and beyond. The whole team's just put a lot of time and effort into it to really get it. I mean, I know it seems like a lot of money, but for the square footage of building you're getting and the service that's going to be provided, it's going to take us to the next level, and it's something that is long overdue in this county.
A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into it, and they're sitting in the crowd, so thank y'all too.
I just wanted to say that we've started talking about this project about 6.5 years ago.
Really?
And it has continued to be put off because of other things coming up. But Eileen, I hope that we have a building for you within the next year or two. We've been working on it a long time, haven't we? And you've been told no a lot too, haven't you? So let's get this done.
Thank y'all.
Any other comments?
Sorry.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank you.
that, buddy. Next, reports from committees and departments, Mr. David Mumford. He's from, the county, 911 center. He's gonna be, directing us, toward the radio system update. What's going on?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, we skipped ahead, hang on. We're supposed to start here, not on the slide that we started on, so. Very exciting time for, the, responders in the county, the all of our public safety partners, the citizens. We're nearing the end of this project, which is to, provide us, the county, with a, public safety grade P25 radio system. I brought up a visual. This is one of the radios that our responders will be carrying. This particular radio is the one that the law enforcement, fire administration will carry. Fire departments will be a little bit different. Theirs is like a fluorescent green color so that it can be better located in low light situations. But they all have similar functions. So, but I'll tell you a little bit about why it took us to get here. When I first came to work here 20 years ago, we had a very antiquated system. It operated off of 2 sites. We had one site that transmitted for law. We had one site that transmitted for fire. And I have complaints when I walked in the door about the reliability of that system. The coverage was terrible. The system would fail, and we couldn't talk to our neighbors. Lots of interference because it was an old VHF system. So I knew then that we would have to upgrade moving forward. So a few years after that, the FCC said that we had to narrowband that system, and it was a unpaid federal mandate, or that we would have to narrowband that system, which would have reduced the coverage of that system by about 40%. So our option was to either upgrade that system or move to a different radio system. The cost to upgrade the system to bring it to where we would need it would be cost prohibitive at the time. So we went out for an RFP, and we had the current system that we're on now, which was the digital system. We were in economic times, were not the greatest then. It was an upgrade to what we had. It's a digital system, but it still had its problems. It's business quality. It was a business style system, so it was not public safety. About 4 or 5 years ago, Motorola announced that the system we're currently on was reaching end of life and it was not going to be supported. So we approached the county with the option, instead of staying in this cycle of a new system and then reaching end of life with these business class systems, that we go out for an RFP for a public safety grade system, which is the type of system that every county around us has. In fact, we're probably the last county in Metro Atlanta that kind of moved to this system. And so on November of 2022, we presented to the board we hired Tusa Consulting to actually draft the RFP for us. We had several responses. Tusa helped us evaluate. On November of 2022, we came to the board with recommending an award to Motorola for their system design for the county. And the board approved it, and we started that project. So we're about 3 years into this project now. So this is our system overview. We went from 2 towers and 2 transmit sites 20 years ago to the current system. Now we have 5. Our new system, we have 12 tower sites to cover the entire county. We had to build out 8 new towers. We used some existing towers that were already in the county for the other sites. However, we had 12 new shelters, so we had a new shelter for every site. The shelters are designed to stand up to tornado, hurricane strength winds. The generators are enclosed within the buildings. They're very, very self-reliant systems. On this new system, we have just under 1,700 total radios. And that's pretty much everybody in the county is on the system. That includes over 300 school buses. The Board of Education has every school bus on this system with these public safety grade radios. This system included the upgrading and remodeling of 2 dispatch centers. So we have our main dispatch center with 15 primary positions, and then we have 8 positions at a backup center. The backup center doesn't just stand by and wait for us to use it. We now use it for training, and we use it for drills, but it is there if we had to evacuate the primary center, we can move operations to the backup center. And it is a duplicate of what we have at the primary center. We have the same telephone system, same CAD system, same radio systems. There's 14 microwave hops in the system, and that simply is how the radio signals get back to the 911 center and how we get out to the responders. So if a responder keys up and they talk to us, the system digitizes their traffic, goes through the tower, it hits a microwave. The microwave sends the communications over to us. On our side, it's decoded and it's presented to us as voice. Same thing happens in reverse. When we key up, it goes around the microwave, it goes out to these 12 sites. All 12 sites broadcast at once, and then the responder, it unencodes or undigitizes our transmission, and they can hear it. So that's the basic system design. Other features that we included in the system, fire station alerting, and that's for all 14 fire stations, and will grow in the future as we add stations. The alerting system that we chose was Mock Alert. What this does for us is that it allows us to get the transmission out to the fire department and out to their stations before we even have to talk on the radio. So once our CAD system, we have a location and we have a type of call identified, the Mock Alert system picks that up from CAD and it will dispatch to these fire stations in a computerized voice before we ever have to touch the radio. While we're still entering information, they'll hear something like structure fire 123 Main Street, and it'll say that, and then we will follow up once we have the information. But they're already this will increase or decrease our dispatch time by minutes, if not seconds, and that's critical when you're talking about medical calls and fire calls. Our system includes Critical Connect and Wave that allows us to connect to the agencies around us, to the Cobb Regional System and to WARS over in West Georgia. Allows us to interoperate with them. Wave is it's basically an app for your cell phone that'll let you talk on our radio system through cell phone licenses, and we have some of those for people who may not have radios. They can talk even outside the county. They can use those devices to get back in and talk in our system. We have 2 new radio logging recorders. We selected Eventide, which is a recording system that we've used for years, and we have now a system at the main 911 center, and we have a logging recorder at the backup 911 center. In case one fails, They both are recording at the same time. We have remote site video security, so every site in the county at the 911 center, we can see if there's, we can get a motion alarm at that site if somebody tries to get in, or if there's somebody walking through the compound, we'll get an alert. We can pull up that video feed and we can see what's going on at those sites. The system comes with OTAP, which is over-the-air programming, OTAR, which is over-the-air rekeying, that lets us touch these radios without having to bring them physically in to look at the radio. We can send out updates. We can send out programming changes. We are also in talks with Motorola right now to implement a program called Radio Management, which will allow us to do this over Wi-Fi, which is even faster, and allow us to maintain our system more efficiently and without having to add resources like people resources. We can do it with the folks that we have on staff without having to hire positions to manage the system. So our system status currently where we are right now, all the 12 sub-sites, all the transmit sites are up and operational. They have been since August. We've had school buses running on the system since the first day of school. We knew that because of the mobile installs that we needed to get the buses up and operational before school started back. So we worked over the summer to get all the school buses installed. They've been using the system since August with 0 complaints. And that's with us taking sites down for maintenance, tweaks, programming, bringing sites back up. They've never noticed a problem with the system. And that included the times that we have intentionally failed these sites during testing. The microwave system is completely operational. At the 911 main dispatch center, we have 6 consoles installed. The remaining 9 will be installed after cutover because we're having to run these side by side with our current system. So once the old system is ready to come down, we'll bring the new, they're already in place, we'll just bring the others operational at that point. The backup 911 center is 100% operational. So everything in that system is working, and we've been using it for training our new hires. We bring them over to the backup center and they can train on the exact equipment they'll be using at the primary site. The logging recorders are operational and they're ready for cutover. We've tested them. They're logging phone calls, they're logging radio traffic, and they're completely operational. Like I said, the Board of Education buses have been operational since August. The school safety officers have been using the system since August, and we've had testing that's been going on. So we know the system is reliable, and we'll look at that in just a second, what our testing revealed. The field acceptance testing is complete, and what that means is that we went out and we failed the different parts of the system to make sure, and to make sure the redundancy works. So we would unplug a network cable and see that the other network system would take over, or we would fail an entire site and see that the other sites would still carry the load. It took us that was about a 3 to 4 day testing procedure. The system passed with flying colors. After that, we went to coverage acceptance testing, and that's been completed. We originally had scheduled it. We had to stop that testing to do some tweaks to the system. We picked it back up. It was originally scheduled to last about 4 weeks. We were able to complete that testing in 2 weeks. That's how well the system performed. So we completed that back in October. We have our agreements in place with our neighbors so that when we go live, and we'll be testing that, the final part of testing is coming up starting tomorrow. So we'll be testing our interoperability, but we have our agreements in place to be able to talk to our neighbors on the Cobb Regional System and Wars, which is to the west of us. They have their own separate system. And also within this, what we have set up with our partners with the Cobb system, we have an agreement in place with them for backup. We have talk groups on our system that's dedicated to Cobb. Cobb has talk groups on their system dedicated to us. So if something were to happen and we were to have a system failure, which is, knock on wood, highly unlikely, but it would take a disaster pretty much with all the redundancy built into our system. But if something did happen, we can switch over to the Cobb system and we can operate off of their system. It may not be full capacity, but we can talk and we can operate until our system is brought back up. Same thing in reverse. If Cobb's system was to fail, they can switch over to our system. They can use the talk groups that we've set aside for them, and they can operate. And this was an agreement that we entered into early on with Cobb so that both systems would have just an extra level of redundancy moving forward. And we do appreciate the help of all of our partners around us to get this going. It's taken a lot of coordination with our surrounding agencies and our public safety partners in the county to make sure that we get to this point. So where are we moving? Well, let's see. Actually, we're going to talk about coverage testing and then where we are moving forward. So the way that we conducted coverage is probably the number one thing that our responders are concerned about. They want to be able to talk to each other. They want to be able to talk to 911, and they want to be able to talk to our neighbors. This is our coverage testing results. So the way we conducted coverage testing, we sent teams out into the field. They were driving around in a car, Motorola, TUSA representatives, and county representatives. And we conducted testing. The county was broken up into grids, and we drove into every grid in the county, and we tested the coverage of the system. The contract requirements were that the system had to respond with either a 95% or a 97% contract requirement. And that was what was required to, under the contract for the system to pass. When you see the decibel levels, that's telling you how the system responds to 6 dB is like a residential building. 0 dB is like on the street coverage if you were standing out on the street talking back in with a portable radio. 20 dB is an industrial building or a school. So that's more of a signal loss. This building is a 20 dB loss because of its construction. And then we designated a medical corridor that was 20 dB, and that was also an industrial corridor. We wanted the coverage in that area to be more substantial because we know that we're going to have industry moving into this county. And it's important for us to be able to communicate to the industry coming in that we can talk inside their buildings, and our responders can go in and meet their needs. If there's a fire or there's an emergency in their building, that we can actually go in and talk. So we designed the system to cover those industrial areas at a higher level. And then along Highway 278, we had it's a 16 and 20 dB area. And the reason that we have a 16 dB area simply because that at the airport, we had to reduce the height of our tower to meet the FAA requirements. And so on one side going out towards Polk County, we agreed to a 16 dB loss instead of a 20. Most of that is wildlife management area. We may never see industrial buildings built out there, so we accepted that as a compromise because we needed that tower at Poole Elementary to cover that part of the county. As you can tell, the 95% requirement for the 6 dB, the system met that requirement 99.5%. The 97% requirement, which is 0 decibel, this is on the street coverage and 2 mile coverage outside the county. The system met that at 99.9%. 20 dB, which is in the city of Dallas and 1 mile around the city of Dallas, the system met that 95% requirement 100% of the time. The 20 dB and 1 mile around Hiram, the system met that 95% requirement at 97.4%. So it was well over what the contract required. The medical center, 20 dB, 100%, and it was a 95% requirement. And then the 16 and 20 decibel requirement around the Highway 278 corridor, that was a 95% requirement, and the system met that at 100%. The coverage of the system is outstanding. The reliability of the system is outstanding. And so that's where we are. This is not mobile coverage in your car. The mobile coverage in the vehicles, which is like a 45. The coverage in the vehicles is 10 times what the portable coverage is. We just tested for portables because if the portable passed, the mobile coverage is going to surpass that. And like I said, this is a 2 mile radius outside the county, so you have to go 2 miles outside the county before you ever start losing coverage with our system. And that doesn't mean it stops at the 2 mile limit. That just means that the contract required it to be effective 2 miles outside the county. Once we get outside that point, then we can roam over on the Cobb system or some of our other partners, and we can use their system just like they could coming into Paulding. So So where are we moving forward? This is our next step. So tomorrow we start the 30-day burn-in testing. We have 28 test radios like this that we're going to hand out. We've identified 28 super users in the county. For the next 30 days, they're going to be testing all the field functionality of this radio. So where we've done it by unplugging and going out and testing, we're going to put these in the hands of responders. And they're going to be out testing the system, and they're going to be doing everything they can to try and overload it, along with the 300 school buses that have already been on it. Quite frankly, if the school buses haven't broken it yet with 300 school buses twice a day, we're probably not going to with adding 28 radios to it. However, we want to test the functions, the emergency alert functions, being able to roam over on the Cobb system, test our backup. We want to test how, we're going to test it from the 911 side. We're going to have dispatchers who are dedicated to this testing so that they can talk back and forth, and we can see how the system works when they activate the emergency alert, or multiple deputies press emergency button at the same time. So over the next 30 days, we're going to test every aspect of the system. If it fails anything during that 30-day period, then the 30-day test starts over. Motorola has to come in and fix it. 30-day test starts over. Not very likely that it's going to fail, but if we do start getting alerts or alarms off the sites, that's what we're looking for. Fire station alerting, we're about to finish optimizing that. In fact, the Mock Alert folks are on site today, and they're going to start optimizing fire station alerting, and that'll be going on through the end, I think into early December, making sure that's up and ready and ready for testing. The video security and site access, they're finalizing that, installing all the security. Site access will allow us to give vendors cards so they can get in. They don't have to check out a key in the middle of the night if we have a problem. We can monitor all this from the 911 center. By the end of December, we're going to be handing out portables to all the users. They're being programmed as we speak. When we cut the system over in about the second or third week of January, that's when we plan to do a system cutover. They're going to go live on portables, and then we're going to start installing the mobiles into the vehicles. Because of the limited room inside the fire trucks and inside the patrol vehicles, we can't really install this system side by side with the other radio system. So they're going to have to bring a car in, take the old system out, put the new system in. And so we're going to cut over with portables first. Mobile installation, of course, will start after we cut over. Once all that's done and we're satisfied the system is working the way we want it to, the old system will be removed. Motorola is taking the old system down. They'll take the old radios out. They'll take the old equipment out from the sites, and then we will finalize the project. We're expecting it to be finalized by the end of March of 2026. That's pretty much where we are. Any questions?
A lot of work.
This. So the folks that did this, a lot of them are out in the room today. So the fire personnel, the sheriff's department, marshals, DOT, animal control, Hiram PD, the IT has played a major role in this. Even though they are not out in the field, they've helped us with getting the networking, make sure everything is working properly. They're going to help us with our system, the system intrusion programs that we have. They're going to have to help us make sure those are set up correctly. Will and his team are actually, they're going to be one of our first responders if for some reason in the middle of the night the system gets attacked and we have to take a computer down or something. They're going to come out and help us with that. So it's definitely 911. We've had dispatchers that have tested and we've been involved in the system design. So it's like I said, it's not, I didn't do this. I'm the face of the project, but it's all the folks that are out here that helped us accomplish this. And even our partners, Cobb County, their system manager, Michael Ward, he helped us, and this is a very complex system. He sat down with us on numerous occasions, answered my questions, and helped us in our planning and moving forward with this. So it's definitely a team effort. It definitely takes a village to do something like this. So we appreciate the boards, seeing the need for this, It's a major project, and it's an expenditure of taxpayers' money, and it's something that we definitely had to have. The county's not going to stop growing, and we need to be able to respond to that growth.
I know it has been a lot of teamwork. I've seen them all through the building, and you've got a great team working. If y'all have never been out to their center, you need to look at it. You need to go out there and see what they do. They stay busy, and appreciate everything you do, David, for everything. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Test on this, Dave?
I can do that. I can send you a test.
No, thank you.
At this time, we do public participation. We do have two people that's going to speak, and I'll call Miss Jessica Goulart. But I want to say, hey, Joseph, good to see you. You came in late, buddy. But say hey to everybody, and good to have you. It's a pleasure. So, Jessica, if you'll come up to the podium and you'll sign in, I think you have 5 minutes to share with us.
I don't know what signing in means.
There's no signing in.
Oh, I signed in back there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My mistake. Okay. So, my husband is the one who likes to talk in front of large groups of people. So forgive my nerves, please. Good morning, commissioners. My name is Jessica Gullett. I'm from Dallas, Georgia, and I'm here today to speak in favor of the new animal control facility. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share a few words. Not long ago, my husband and I visited the Paulding County Animal Control Shelter to bring ice cream to the dogs. We just wanted to do a little something simple to brighten up a hot day. And when we stood in the lobby, handing out the little cups of ice cream, the dogs wagged their tails with pure joy. It was crazy. And for a few moments, all you could hear was the sound of happy pups enjoying a sweet treat. And standing there, I remember thinking, I wish more tails had the chance to wag like that. That moment reminded me that compassion is not complicated. It's about doing what we can to bring comfort, joy, and love to living beings who depend on us. And today, this new facility is going to give us a chance to do that, to give even more tails the chance to wag. And that is exactly what Eileen and her team do every single day. They bring joy, comfort, and care to the animals who need it most. They run towards need, towards life, and toward every opportunity to help. As a member of the Animal Control Hearing Board, I get to see firsthand. I help vote on appeals involving dangerous dogs. And I've watched how deeply Eileen cares, even for the toughest, most heartbreaking cases. She sees the potential for redemption in every animal, and that kind of heart is rare. So thank you, Eileen, for all you do and for your incredible team that always show Paulding County what compassion looks like in action. It's called animal control, but really we should call it animal care, because that's what Eileen and her team do. And we're not just building a new facility. We're building a place that allows compassion to reach further, a place where more tails can wag, more lives can heal, and more hope can begin. And at a time when the world seems to have forgotten the value of life, this is our chance to show that Paulding County still believes in it. So, we choose kindness, we choose compassion, and we choose to give more tails the chance to wag. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Jason Platt, so if you'll come up, buddy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't speak as well as Jessica. She did a great job. My name is Jason Flatt. I run Friends of the Forlorn Pit Bull Rescue. I also sit on the same board as Jessica does and make some tough decisions here in the county. I run a rescue. I'm focused mostly on pit bulls, but I've worked with Eileen in animal control for a long time. help out when there's situations, and do what I can to help the community. I run a spay-neuter program here. Fixed over 8,000 animals for the community, at little to no cost to them, and provide shots, and with our friends from Mostly Mutts, did shot clinics and helped to vaccinate and keep animals out of the facility. I've been here for 20 years. I'm a transplant from New York, as you guys call it, a damn Yankee. I'm proud of it. I've seen a lot of growth. First when I came 20 years ago, and now the growth it's not small town USA anymore. Not what I moved into. And when we experience growth, we consider infrastructure. And a lot of the times we consider streets, traffic lights, schools, libraries, civil service, the fire department, EMS, the police, sheriff's department, you name it, the water department, DOT, but we never consider the animals. And to some people, animals aren't that important, but tax money is. And how it's spent is important. You're going to spend it one way or the other. You might as well spend it the right way. The increase in animals that are going to come into this county with all this growth is going to be insane. The current facility is not going to handle it. And I'm afraid that with the growth that we're experiencing, we're going to be here again soon. So I urge you guys that if you're going to make that decision, as somebody who deals with it every day, and the way things are going, it's getting worse and worse for animals. I've never seen it this bad. I've been doing it for 20 years. And work 7 days a week, lose a lot of sleep. And I've never worked so hard. So I'll leave you with that. Just make the right decision. I think the community needs it. And it's for the safety of the community, because if animal control can't handle it, those dogs are on the street. Dogs that are on the street become nuisance animals, and people get hurt. So, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Next, we'll do the consent agenda items. We have, I think, 5. First, we'll adopt the Paulding County Board of Commissioners 2026 regular meeting schedule. Ms. Meredith? Huh?
Just consent, you just need to read them.
Oh, but you don't say anything? I want to hear you talk. Next is accept the following streets for perpetual maintenance by the county. And that would be Glenshire Phase 1, Cranberry Blossom Way, Four Season Boulevard, and North Cornucopia Bend and South Cornucopia Bend. Glenshire Phase 2, Cranberry Blossom Way, South Cornucopia Bend, and Nature Walk at Seven Hills. That's Unit 3, Phase 6A, Azalea Crossing. Next will be declare the following items for listed for surplus, and approve these for approval of disposal, for sale, for auction, for trade, or donation. And there's 10 listed. You can see them for yourself. Next will be authorize the county manager to enter into an audit agreement with Spyglass to conduct telecom service audit. Next would be to accept the water main easement dedication by Roy Sparks for the perpetual maintenance of the water main on parcel 176.3.2.004.quad 0. This project is located in post 4. At this time, we have no old business, so we'll move right into public hearing. Oh, yeah. You want to move any of these to new business, any of you guys? Nope, okay. Now we'll move into the public hearing. public hearing for abandonment, of right-of-way for the position, for the portion of Austin Bridge Road. That's gonna be also discuss action to adopt resolution 2025-42, abandoning, the right-of-way, of the portion of Austin Bridge Road. Mr. Jones.
Morning. I'm going to break this up into two sections, kind of tee off the public meeting. In October of 2025, one of the heirs of the estate of James Clontz contacted the Paulding County DOT with a request to abandon an unused portion of Austin Bridge Road adjacent to their property located in Post 3. It's at the corner of Ridge Road and Austin Bridge Road. This portion of Austin Bridge Road is unused due to previous roadway alignment of Austin Bridge. The unused portion of Old Road is still identified as Austin Bridge Road. The property is serving no use as a public road currently, and to abandon a road per state law, the county is required to hold a public hearing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones, and I'll call for public, participation right now, so if you'll come up to the podium and sign in, we'd love to hear from you. Is there any? Don't look like there is, so I will close, the public hearing at this time. Next we will, oh,
That was quick.
that was quick.
Okay, now this, based on, I think, item number 10, which is the discuss action. I'll give you a little backup. A notice of public hearing was advertised in Legal Oregon for Paulding County on October 20th, 2025, and October 27th, 2025, again, according to state law. From investigations, it appears that this portion of road was noted in the 1953 county maps, but was not in the 1960s. So sometime in that time frame, the road abandonment happened and this portion of road was unused. We could find no evidence that this section of road was abandoned according to Georgia law. The section of road is approximately, and right-of-way is approximately 580 feet in length, 40 feet in width, 23,200 square feet. The old road bed abuts 4 separate properties. Again, and Paulding County does follow state law in regards to the abandonment of county roads. The criteria is, according to OCGA 32-7-1 and 32-7-2, an abandonment for a county road is considered by a Board of Commissioners using the criteria when it is determined that a section of the county road system for any reason has ceased to be used by the public, that no substantial public purpose is served by it, or that its removal from the county road system is otherwise in the best public interest. Paulding DOT has made the determination that this portion of roadway is not needed now or in the future for the county for maintenance purposes. It's our opinion that this section of Old Road can be abandoned back to the 4 adjacent property owners on each side of the center line of this unused section of Austin Bridge Road.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Next, we'll discuss the action to renew the contract for Dr. Mary East for 1 year expiring December the 31st of 2026 in the amount of $160,000 from the general fund. Ms. Myers.
Good morning. The contract for the inmate medical services in our detention center is expiring on 12/31 of 2025. We're asking the board to consider renewing this contract for the current service provider, who is Dr. Mary East, for an additional 12 months in the amount of $160,000 payable through the general fund.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Appreciate that. Next, we'll discuss the action to approve a contract not to exceed $63,640,000 with Atkins Reliance USA Incorporated for the design and bidding some sub-consultant services from the water and sewer utility location for the SR 120 and the SR 6 business intersection project. This purchase is funded through the renewal and the extension fund. This project is located in Post 1 in post 3, Mr. Wooten.
Morning.
Good morning.
The Board of Commissioners, Paulding County Board of Commissioners approved transportation contracts on August 9th, 2022 for the preliminary engineering design services for roadway improvement with RS&H to design intersection improvements to add an additional left turn from SR6 Business heading onto SR 120 towards Cobb, creating dual left turn lanes. The intersection improvement project will also have an additional through lane on SR6 Business from Ratcliffe Drive to Summerhill Connector. This will impact a lot of water and sewer infrastructure that we have at the intersection. And currently, with our present staffing, we don't have the engineers that can design and work directly on this project. And working in conjunction with transportation, they helped us get some quotes, working with Atkins Realis, who will be a sub under their contractor, RS&H. Therefore, the design of the transportation improvements and the utility relocations will be all under one contractor who can coordinate everything. And this will also minimize any complications from having multiple firms working together. But it'll all be under RS&H. And the cost of the water and sewer utility relocation request for the design and bidding is for a not to exceed price of $63,640, and that's with Atkins Realis USA. And with your approval.
Thank you, Mr. Wooten, appreciate it. Might as well stay up there, because next will be discuss action to approve a contract not to exceed $54,942,000 with RH&K LLP. This purchase is funded through the renewal and extension fund. This project is located in post 3.
Okay, this is similar to the prior project. The Board of Commissioners approved transportation contracts with RK&K for preliminary engineering design services for a roadway improvement project on Metromont Road between Rosedale Drive and Angham Road, located in Post 3 on September 14th, 2021. The project involves widening Metromont Road from Angham Road to Hiram Industrial Park to the county non-residential roadway standard. It also has intersection improvements, again, going to be impacting our water and sewer infrastructure that we have on the site. Water has been working with transportation to solicit a quote directly from RK&K for design services, along with an SUE Level B survey for locating underground utilities, and we're going to incorporate that into the relocation of our utilities, all with the same contractor that's actually doing the roadway improvements and design. And we would like support to approve going with RK&K with a request for $54,942. Again, it includes a design and an underground survey, SUE Level B, for $30,800. For, again, the total is $54,942 with RK&K LLP to be funded through the Renewal and Extension Fund to help this project be seamless under one contractor.
Thank you, Mr. Wooten, appreciate that. The final is discuss action to authorize the chairman to enter into an engineering services master agreement with Atlas Technical Consultants LLP for the engineering support services for the capital project management, not to exceed the amount of $400,000, and funding will be allocated through SPLOST. Mr. Jones.
In May 2025, Paulding DOT advertised a request for qualifications, RFQ, for capital projects, also known as SPLOST Manager. The capital projects manager job title was created in the FY23 budget. However, the county has not been successful in filling the position at this point in time with qualified personnel. The capital projects manager is currently in our 2026 budget. The main duties of the capital projects manager to manage and oversee capital projects, whilst ensuring these projects are proceeding through the pre-construction, right-of-way, and utilities phase expeditiously as possible, meeting project milestones and any state or federal requirements. Most of our neighboring counties utilize personnel for transportation capital project SPLOST. There's a benefit of having qualified personnel teams with knowledge of the pre-construction plan development process that can move projects along, meeting deadlines and milestones, particularly with the state and federal processes for plan development, ensuring scope, schedule, and budget are met. The request for proposals was advertised again. 4 firms submitted firms. Those proposals were scored by our engineering division manager, our traffic operations division manager, our construction division manager, and deputy director. After reviewing the statement of qualifications, 2 firms were shortlisted for interviews. After those interviews were conducted, it was determined that Atlas Technical Consultants LLC was the highest ranked firm. Atlas Technical Consultants is providing 2 individuals that have experience in managing and moving projects, essentially allotted 20 to 30 hours each employee per week for a year time frame. Funding for the capital projects manager, if approved, would be from the SPLOST program. The contract is for a 1-year time frame with a renewal up to 2 additional years if the county so desires. We're going to continue to seek out qualified personnel for hiring full-time with the county, but generally believe it's in our best interest to move forward with this consultant staffing expertise to be able to move our transportation projects along as expeditiously as possible. You know, we've been good at getting funding as a DOT. We get lots of grants. We're thankful for that. But, you know, I believe this will help with project delivery.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That is the conclusion of our regular business. I don't have any public participation at this time. So I would ask the commissioners if you have any comments or announcements that need to be made at this time.
I do.
Okay?
Oh, wow. I wanted to thank Jason Flatt for being here today and speaking. Jason, I don't know if you know him or not, but he has done a tremendous amount. He's hours, time. He has a huge house in our county, but it's not his house. His animals share it with him. I've been there, I've seen it, and I know he's got an animal in every room in that house, some 2, some 3, but he has a little bitty part of his house that is his sometimes. Like I said, the house isn't his. It is shared by his animals with him. So thank you, Jason, for everything that you do for this county. People don't realize because you never speak up and say anything, but you do great work in this county. And also, I would like to say to our veterans, thank you. And I hope today is a great day for each and every one of you. Thank you.
Any other comments? Suggestions? Happy Veterans Day, and get all your free stuff out there, because they do feed you on Veterans Day. We will go into executive session for real estate personnel and litigation. So I will need a motion to go into there, and when we do, we'll come back out and actually conclude when we come back out. Do I have a motion?
Motion to go into executive session for real estate personnel and litigation, and we are coming back here, or we're going?
We're gonna come back in here.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay. And so to adjourn when we get back here?
Yes, we'll be returning to open session following the executive session.
Okay.
Do I have a second? Took you a long time. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I will tell you, with the grow in the county, it takes a lot of effort from all these guys up here, and you wouldn't believe how many meetings we are in on a regular basis with our staff, with our department heads, to make sure we do make the right decisions for this county. So y'all need to give this crew up here a hand, okay? They work very hard for you.